Okay, great. I think we're recording now, so we're good.
Okay. All right, let me just make sure I've got my notes up too. All right, you guys, Morgan Foster here, and I am interviewing the amazing Keith Kochner. And I know him from Oklahoma. He's spoken at a lot of events I've been to. He is an amazing man. So in case you aren't familiar, I'm going to let him introduce himself, give a little bit of his background, and then I'll dive in with questions regarding an event in Chicago we are nailing down, okay? All right,
Yeah,
so Keith,
super awesome. I'm excited. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. I love to jump on these interviews and do different things because I just love sharing my heart to serve people. As you mentioned, if you don't know a lot about me, the first thing you do need to know about me is I don't like to talk about myself a whole lot. So if you want to do your due diligence on me, feel free just to go to keithkochner.com and you can look there. To make the long story short, I've been in the leadership and professional development industry for over 2 decades now. I've been blessed with the opportunity to speak literally all over the world, whether it be keynote stages, our own 2-day events, which is what we're looking to host here at the end of October in Chicago, business consulting. I've done a lot of behind the stage consulting for other speakers on the circuit that actually a lot of them are way more famous than me. And actually they made me sign confidentiality agreements to not tell because they don't want to tell anybody that somebody less famous than them is helping them become better. But I love serving people. I have a huge experience in my last 20 years as well in the direct sales network marketing industry. I would say I've probably trained and worked with at one level or another between 40 and 50 different network marketing companies over the last 15 to 20 years. I love the industry. It's such a huge opportunity. Your company specifically, I've been blessed with the opportunity to, of course, share the stage with Joni at Leaders, the Crown Princess Retreat, seminar, a few of our own events. I was just in Washington, D.C. with her as well at an event. So now we've got this 2-day event coming up, which is our Live Your Greatest Life event that we're looking to do in October. And so I love doing these Q&A because we do it at a very cost-effective rate to get people involved, because our heart as a company is to really educate everybody everywhere to live their greatest life and to have their greatest business. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. So I hope that wasn't too much too fast, but anything else you can do your own due diligence on me, and there's testimonies and endorsements and videos and all that kind of stuff on keithkochner.com.
And y'all, whether you're watching this live or you are watching the replay at some point, I do want you to do your due diligence and look him up, because he is being very humble right now. He is absolutely amazing. He's very good at what he does. His heart's in a great place. And if you don't know him or you've never had the opportunity to hear him speak, you can't really tell by reading a bio. Right. So I just want to let you know, a lot of you do know me, trust me, take my word for it. He is a man of his word, and
absolutely
his speakings and his conferences are life-changing. Okay. So I want to dive into this then, because I'm sure we only have a short time. Is this event in Chicago, would you say, open to anyone and everyone that wants to be an entrepreneur? Do you want like direct sales based, in-home business, or brick and mortar, or just
no? Open? Great question. No, great questions. Over the years, have got a reputation that they're open to everybody. If a company hires me to come in privately, that's one thing. But when we do something like this that I consider, a public supported training, which is one of the reasons why it's so affordable, it's open to everybody. And so it's not just for your company. I have a abundant mentality. So in true abundance, there really is no competition. So whether it's Synergence, Rodan and Fields, Arbonne, USANA, Isagenix, Real Estate, Keller Williams, these are all companies I've done a lot of extensive work with, entrepreneurs, employers. It's really open to anybody. Because what I always say is this, the event has absolutely nothing to do with your business, but yet it has everything to do with your business. This event has nothing to do with marriage and relationships, but it has everything to do with marriage and relationships. So that's why I'm really passionate about Live Your Greatest Life events. So you can feel confident in inviting everybody in your company, your team, your uplines, your sidelines, your downlines, or other network marketing companies, because we have an outstanding rule in all my events, no matter where I'm at. There's a no solicitation rule. I put that out at the very beginning of every event. So you don't have to worry about, bringing people to the event or inviting other companies, because the more value we're going to create in the event. But you don't have to worry about somebody shopping your people or inviting somebody that's not in network marketing, that they would feel like, well, no, this is only for Synergence, or this is only for network marketing. I've done these events all over the world for every kind of industry you could think about. I think that's one of the reasons why the event is so powerful. It's not about me. I'm a mouthpiece for principles and strategies, but I think the reason the event is such a high octane event with such great feedback is what we discuss can be literally leveraged to any area of your life. And that's why I think so much value is created in such a short period of time.
Okay, so then I'll just take this for people who have now done their due diligence. They've looked you up. They're interested in maybe living their greatest life, or maybe looking for things to better themselves, their marriage, their business, their whatever. What to you would you say is the Live Your Greatest Life event? Like, what can people expect out of that?
Well, people always ask me, like, Keith, what do you do? I've been called a lot of things in my career, and most of them have been good. A motivator, inspirational trainer, a facilitator, a keynote speaker, all these different things. But if somebody asks me, I think this kind of describes the event as well. I help people discover why they're not doing what they already know to do. I think there's so many things that we know in our life, whether it be in our relationships, in our health, in our direct sales and network marketing businesses. There's so many things that we know to do, but why are we not doing what we already know to do? There's other things that we will teach you that maybe are beyond what you currently know, especially you're around me for even longer than 2 days. But the 2-day event, I really help people discover why. We've all heard this statement that said we are our own worst enemy. But how does that work, and really why is that? Why can we know to do something and yet we still can't make ourselves do it? The event's kind of like that. It's a leadership and professional development experience to really help you kind of dial in and dig in. Like, why are we sabotaging ourselves? Why are we holding ourselves back? Why do we buy in on this limited, in-the-box thinking, when in reality, if we can just be aware of a few things, make a few shifts in the foundation of who we are, it will totally get us out of the way to step into, in my opinion, who you already are. You have greatness. I consider greatness and the word purpose the same word. So if greatness is hard for you to understand, I'm saying, like, hey, how do you live a purpose-driven life? You've heard that book years ago by Rick Warren, A Purpose-Driven Life, a phenomenal book. So for me, purpose and greatness are the same word, but why are so few people truly walking in the greatest version of their life and their business? It's because there are things holding us back that we are not aware of.
What?
And then when we do get aware of them, we don't always know what to do or how to handle it. Does that make sense?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry to interrupt. Guys, if you are on here and you are listening, please go and mute your phone, mute your audio. So if you go up to the top right corner, there is a mute button. And if everyone can mute, that would be lovely. Thank you. I think a couple
thank you.
Can mute. And I was going to try to do it for them, but I couldn't figure it out. Okay. So I think for now, we've got mostly everyone muted and we are set. I am so sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no worries.
Finish up where you're at, just so we can get a clear audio.
That was it. Just truly figuring out what's holding us back, and maybe we don't even know what it is. We know something's there because we all have something in our mind that we're thinking about, whether it's our business at another level, our faith or our belief, our passion, our fulfillment or significance, whatever. Like, it could be at another level. We have that. The fact that you can feel that there's something beyond what we're currently experiencing proves there's something more that we were developed and created for.
Right.
So what's robbing us of that?
Right. Well, let me ask you this. I've heard I'm sure you've heard of Rachel Hollis. And a lot of us that are interested in coming to your event did the Rachel Hollis Rise Tour in Minneapolis. And we have a big group of women here in the Chicago area, and then their significant others who are interested in knowing, like, if you're like, and I think you pretty much answered it, but if your Live Your Greatest Life event is going to be like hands-on and more like interactive and like actually pulling from us and making us answer those hard questions like you just said, versus just speaking to us where we take a ton of notes and then leave and wonder, like, oh, how am I going to apply this?
Yeah. And I love Rachel. Many of you know I shared the stage with her at your all's conference. And she's spoken for several companies that I've spoken for already as well in my career. So she's doing a lot of amazing things, and I love her to death. And this event is, I would definitely say, more interactive, definitely more affordable, and much more engaging, what I would say, because for me, the event is not like, here's the event, go home. For me, this kind of an event, especially this 2-day event, is kind of like a starting point, if you will. to build a relationship with principles and strategies that, if implemented continually and consistently, will change your life or change your business, whatever you're applying them to. And some people do both. So I would say similar in heart and passion, maybe a little bit more intimate and engaging and interactive, and definitely much more affordable. I'm not knocking her model, just to kind of give you a comparison to prove it. The first half of my career, I was kind of in that realm on the circuits. I was all about, when I was 28, they were calling me the next Tony Robbins. I'm not condemning or condoning, but they meant it as a huge compliment at the time. And that's kind of what I had in place. This same event years ago, everybody would have paid between $500 and $1,000 a piece to be in. And I did that for years. And we sold out rooms of 200 and 300 at that and then beyond. But deep down, because of how I grew up without a lot. And when I met some of my original mentors, they poured into me and they helped me before I could afford to be helped, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so about a decade ago, quite honestly, we shifted the entire foundation of our entire business model to a cause-based business, because it kind of hit me. The people who need this kind of stuff the most are often the ones who cannot afford it the most at the beginning. That's why the price points for the event are where they're at. I often say it's actually easier for me to fill a room at $500 a head than it is at $75 or $85, because so many people misjudge the event because of the price. Because somehow we're brainwashing our society that if it's really great, it has to cost a lot, or you have to go into debt to do it. And so I always encourage people, please don't misjudge the value of the event based on the price point, because that's something we did as a company to be of service to reach and serve more people. The other thing I think that people are afraid of, when they hear a low price point, they are afraid they're going to come and get sold something super, super expensive in the thousands of dollars. That doesn't happen either. And you can, of course, as you mentioned, that's why I encourage people, do your own due diligence on me, because I always tell people, the more you do, the more likely you are going to be there, because you're going to hear the heart of the people that have been through the event, and what we do and what we don't do to truly make it about serving people and your businesses. Okay.
That's awesome, because that was my next question anyway, was, can you tell me why a 2-day event is this inexpensive? I mean, I am always trying to better myself, and I know a lot of these people on here are the same, and I've always said, like, direct sales is basically like personal development with a paycheck. But so we're all always looking to better ourselves, and a lot of us have paid these big bucks to go to an event, and then we have to pick and choose, and we can't quite afford to go to the next. So that was my question. How come for a 2-day is that expensive?
I can answer that more specifically as well. One, you already heard my heart. We made a specific choice as a company to go into a cause-based business model where it's truly about serving more people, not about how much profit or net worth I can create for myself. And this business is one of several businesses that I own. So I've always said, when you pour seed and you plant seed into other people's businesses, God will always bless you with more success as well. And so when I do corporate trainings, when I do corporate consulting, and I do keynotes, those are entities that have budgets for what they're asking people like me to do. So when I do them for those companies, they pay me, and they pay me through the nose. This is what I consider a public venue class. This is a collection of how I see this particular event, why I'm so passionate about it, as I always see the audience as 100 me's or 200 me's 20 years ago, before I was getting started, before I had the blessings that God has brought into my life, now in my life. So if somebody hadn't helped me, like I said before I could technically afford to get or pay for the help at that level, I want to pass that on and create that same type of environment. So it was a specific decision. I can do it because it's a public setting and public venue. So it's a collection of individuals. And of course, individuals don't often have that kind of budget without going into debt for long term to spend $500 and $1,000 for an event like this. So we made that decision. And because of the blessings of the other verticals of our company, this is something I've always kept on my schedule to do 1 or 2 of these a month, to continue, quote unquote, pay it forward, or do my part to help all the me's that are still out there from where I began. Because if somebody hadn't helped me, I can promise you, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. And quite honestly, there's a good chance I probably would not even be on the earth still. That's how big of a change this kind of stuff made in my life.
Well, we are definitely glad that someone has done that for you, or because then now you're here to pay it forward and do that for us. Next question. So have you done something like this in Chicago before?
Yeah.
You have? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when I go to cities, I'm past the point in my career and in my business model, if you will, where I call certain key people or key leaders of companies and beg or ask if they'd like to bring me in. I go where I'm requested. So I've been to Chicago several times over the years. Some of it's been corporate clients. Other ones have been other companies like yourselves. I've had hosts. So you're all hosts. So you're the hosting company, which is Synergens. I've had companies like Arbonne, hosts from Arbonne bring me into Chicago before, USANA, a host from there. And I said, other companies that are in the industry that wanted me to come in and speak life into their teams, into their business model and their growth, have hosted an event like you're doing. And then they open up to other people as well. So I'm in Chicago about twice a year on average, sometimes a little bit more. And so I'm always up and around. So that's why my heart is, hey, I wouldn't limit to just you all. We'll notify people that I've been to as well, because the more the merrier. I'd love to have a room of, a couple hundred people. But if it's a smaller, intimate group, that's okay too. You know where the numbers are at. I think it's between 50 and 100 to really get the event solidified and on the book. So that's my passion. And I don't do that from a need to be like, well, I've got a certain number of people in the audience before I'll come. No, it's a limit on my time, because I only have a certain portion of my time that I allocate to 2-day events. So my heart is, if I'm going to do one, I want to create as maximum impact as I can, because there's a limited time that I have on my schedule that I can even do this 2-day event, because it is 2 full days. So I say all that to say, if you're going to come, don't put off getting a ticket. Get registered and get your team registered. I think we even have 3-packs and 5-pack discounts for you and your team to come together and be able to sit together and things of that nature too, that I highly recommend. So,
okay, that's my next question. So, what is
people are going to think I fed you these questions. This is perfect. We're in sync. We're in sync.
I legit have questions, and I'm like,
it's almost like I've done this before a few times.
Probably. All right. So the cost for an individual is what? And talk about the early bird discount or early.
I believe I'm off the top of my mind. You're putting me on the spot. I believe off the top of my mind, the early bird is $75 an individual.
Yes.
And
we've extended it.
We extended the early bird through September 15th, because I realized it's in the summer and people are just now starting to wake up and everything else. So, our goal is to try to honor people that take action. So between now and September 15th, it'd be lovely to have 30 to 50 people already enrolled. And then it goes up to $85 after September 15th through the event in October. Yep. The 3-pack, if you want even a bigger discount, you can actually get the early bird on the 3-pack. So it's not 75 times 3. I think it brings it all the way down to 68 or 69 when you buy a 3-pack. Or if you buy a 5-pack, it gets even cheaper. So my passion would be, if you've got a team, even if they're new people, maybe you as an individual go and buy the 3-pack or the 5-pack, and then let those people pay you back. I'm not suggesting you got to sponsor or pay for your team. Actually, I recommend that you don't, because if they don't have any skin in the game, then quite honestly, they're probably not going to come and create any value. So maybe you do it to get the discount, and then you collect the money from them, but then you all save a little bit more as well. And that's how you can get even lesser than the early bird. And we do that same thing at the $85 ticket level as well. On the normal prices, you can still get a 3-pack, you can still get a 5-pack. But that's just something that we do to try to act. If you're like me, I grew up without a lot. So even though I don't need to be anymore in my life, it drives my wife crazy. I'm still super frugal. And so I'm like the wheeler dealer discount kind of guy. So the 3-pack and the 5-pack are for people that are like me.
Okay. And what are the exact dates of the event? I can answer that question.
Please.
It is October 24th and 25th. It is a Thursday and Friday. Weekends are spent with his family, which we can all appreciate and honor. So that is the reason the event is on a Thursday and Friday.
Well, and I'll speak to this as well, because I think this is something that you may bump into. So I'll just put it out ahead of time. Yeah. People always ask, and I've been doing this for 20 years. People always say, well, Keith, Thursday and Friday. Oh man, I don't know if I could take off work, and they always tease about, well, I don't know if I can take off 2 days from the job that I don't want. To try to learn how to do something more so I can eliminate that job in my life, which I always find humorous. Also, because it is a leadership and professional development event, most companies, if you ask ahead of time, they'll give you professional time off, or they will at least, sometimes they'll even pay for the event. They'll reimburse you for it, but they'll at least give you professional days off, because it's a leadership and professional development training event. So they'll honor that as well. And also I can tell you, when I made this decision about 9-10 years ago to do events on Thursdays and Fridays, I did it because when I would do events on weekends, I would have just as many people say, hey, Keith, I wish you wouldn't do events on weekends. I much rather miss work than miss time with my family, because the weekends are the only time I get with my family as well. So why don't you do events during the week? And if I do them during the week on Thursday and Friday, the other half goes, Keith, I wish you would do them on the weekends. So what I found was it was 50-50 no matter what I did. And I do spend a lot of time with my family on my weekends, and we love, part of our faith background, to go to church every weekend too. So I just love to have that time with my family. So I made a decision a decade ago that pretty much, minus some exceptions that are very rare, that all my events are on Thursdays and Fridays. So it's not so much that even it's because of what I wanted, although it was 50-50 down the road. People always would complain one direction or the other. And here's what the bottom line is. The people that want to come and see the value in coming because they want to do something and experience something different in their life than they previously have, they will make it happen if they want to grow their life and grow their business. For somebody that isn't, that's just like, hey, I can't figure it out, or I don't see the value, then that's okay. They're not going to create value for themselves anyways. So don't lose any sweat over them. Move on to the next person and invite somebody else to be there, because people complain either way, and people will make it happen either way if they're truly looking to grow their life and or their business. And I love things in October, it's getting towards the end of the year. I love events in the fourth quarter of the year, because what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to take it into the November and December and into the new year, which is a season where most people struggle in their business, especially in your industry. And so it's just, I love fourth quarter events because it's a time where most people tell themselves they have to struggle in their business, and that is a made up story. And so I love fourth quarter events, and I would highly suggest take vacation days if you need to, take two sick days if you need to. We guarantee the value of the event. And of course, you doing your due diligence will help you see the value of that as well. But I always tell people I give a personal guarantee to all my events. You come to one of our events, and at the end of the second day, if you didn't create any value, however you define the word value, you just come up to me and let me know, and I'll have my office send you your whole whopping $75 right back to you. No questions asked.
Okay, so I want to ask a question that I think a lot of women have already asked me is husbands. So bringing husbands and sell me for my husband. Give me some verbiage.
Yeah, absolutely. He
wants to support me, but he's like,
right.
Me take off work. This is your gig.
Right. Well, first of all, I'll speak to this a couple different ways. First of all, I would highly encourage you to bring your spouse, because nothing's more powerful when you can have an experience like this together. That doesn't mean if they can't come, you're going to create zero value. Here's what happens a lot of times. People will come together. They create maximum value. It's awesome. Or one, and it's not always wives. Sometimes it's the husband will come, a different company. I know your company is predominantly female-based, but when I work with other companies, sometimes it's the husband that comes, and they get such a life-changing event. Their spouse ends up coming to the next event when they come back, and then the spouse comes back with them. So don't make it wrong or right if they can or cannot join you this particular event. If you can, as far as like selling them on it, remember, this is a leadership and professional development training event. This is not a specific sentence. Here's what you need to do with your demos and your makeup and your lipstick and your cosmetics and your skincare. This is an event for anybody looking to move their life forward. So any spouse is going to have value on, hey, it's not just a business event. This is an event for us as a relationship as well. And I will tell you, I cannot tell you how many times we have relationships come and they think they're coming for a business experience, and they leave with an experience that changed their marriage. And then they go and apply it to their business as well.
Real quick, I'm going to interrupt you. I think we have a couple people that still need to mute their phones. Is there a Catherine on here? Catherine, can you mute your phone for me? Thank you. All right, Keith, go ahead.
So I'm just saying that it's a powerful event to have there with your spouse. And even though you think it might be business and leadership, I can't tell you how many feedbacks we've gotten from relationships that say, you know what, I thought I was coming for business, or I thought I was coming to support my husband, or I thought I was coming to support my wife in their business. But we had a connection and a breakthrough, or something we learned that we can apply to our marriage that will help us take our connection and our marriage to the next level, which quite honestly, in my opinion, of course, my personal opinion, didn't ask this, but in my personal opinion, that's even more important than a business growth. Because for me in my life, my priorities are God, family, which is my marriage, and then with my kids, and then business. And so it's an absolute powerful event. And we've had just as many men come over the years as we had women. So I would highly encourage you to invite them. have them Google me, you know, or do due diligence on me as well. I always tell people if they're sensitive, because I know you guys were Synergents and they've probably heard a lot about your trainings and your trainers and everything else. And it's a lot about the company and maybe even female trainers. You can tell your spouses what they call me in the industry. I'm a shorter, non-cursing, affordable version of Tony Robbins. So they think that's cool. And they know that any better than my name. That's the kind of event it's going to be. And I guarantee they'll create value too. If they don't, I'll honor their ticket as well.
Awesome. I'm going to have the people that are on live with us, if you could go ahead and type out some questions just for a clear recording. Normally I would want you to jump on and ask those questions, but for a clear recording, a lot of us have done this before. Would you just type some questions in the chat and I will read those out loud to him? Because we want this short and sweet so people can go get their tickets. It is $75 early bird pricing through September 15th. The event is October 24th and 25th in Chicago. I'm pretty sure we don't have the exact location yet, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. If I have some sway on that, you guys, I'll help.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You absolutely will. We always try to go into a place that is available to everyone, but especially if there's a hosting group like you and your team and everything else, we'll be as user friendly as we can to be in a location that is as regionally located as we can. Now, if you pick the Downtown W Hotel, I will gladly decline. One, I don't like going downtown, and two, it's through the roof expensive, which doesn't allow me to be of service at $75 a ticket.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
It's still going to be a great venue, though.
We'll get you a good venue, but I think you guys, a lot of the questions were, is this going to be like downtown in the heart of it, like where parking's an issue, and Thursday, Friday? So I think, especially now that I can have some help with that, and I can get with his assistant and help get things taken care of, we'll try and make sure that it is obviously Chicago, so same, same county, same all that, but we're going to get it in a easier place for parking. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. All right. If we have seen you live before, Keith, and we are signed up for personal help, what more can you expect from this event?
Well, this is the only people have heard me speak maybe from a keynote stage or some of my webinars and everything like that. This is what you were asking about earlier. Really, it's 2 days of engagement. So it'd be kind of like asking Joni, what more value could I get from you by hanging out at your ranch for 2 or 3 days? Well, the value is that personal engagement and interaction in an intimate setting, to specifically designed to create value and forward progression. Does that make sense? And I do a lot of other great things too, but this is, if there's anything that I do, this 2-day event is what is most closest to my heart. I believe this 2-day event is actually part of my greatness because of the interaction, because of how much value is created in such a short period of time. I could work with you in a webinar type setting, or even in one of our product type settings for years, which many people do, and still not tap to the value of what we can create together in 2 focused days. Because of the design of this event, it's specifically designed to create that kind of impact and influence. So I don't know if that answered it directly enough or not, but that's what I would say to that question.
Okay, and then I just really want to reiterate for people that listen back on a recording and maybe you have kids or you got interrupted, I want you to very, very, very much understand that this event is open and we are welcoming any and everyone, male, female, no matter where you live, you're welcome to come in, no matter what company you're with, no matter if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't have a job currently. This is going to not only better you yourself as an individual, but it can help with your marriage, your relationships, your friendships, and just you as a person. So this is not just a conference for direct sales, for Synergents. We are just the ones that asked him to come here, but we like to open it up to everybody. Before we close, I think that's all the questions I have here. Keith, is there anything else that you want to remind me or to say before I cut this off?
No, I mean, obviously I want everybody to hear my heart. I love serving people. That's what this really event is about. I spent a large portion of my career, early on in my career, doing the big stages and swooping in and swooping out. And I just have always felt that God put on my heart that the gifts he gave me Not that I don't do those things still at some level, but the giftings that he's gave me, the way he's given them to me, are specifically designed for an event like this. This is why this event, I will always take time in my schedule to do this 2-day event for groups of people that would like to do it and have me come in, because I personally think it's the most powerful thing of anything that we've ever created as a company. And I've done a lot of amazing things, but this event is very, very close to my heart just because of the thousands of feedbacks that we've gotten over the years, whether it be in business or marriage or in life, of the value they created it. It's kind of like, I almost can like not ever stop doing the event because I would feel guilty, or I would feel, bad, because that's not this heart. So this event is so close to my heart. So that's the main thing I want people to hear my heart. Obviously we want to have a successful event with people there and the attendance to be what it is, but it's really about changing people's lives for me, and businesses often soon follow those changes. So come all, invite anybody. It's not, like you said, specific to just network marketing, but feel free and comfortable, because even though I say some people don't, invite other network marketers, invite other people. There's more than enough everybody in the industry to grow and to learn. The more people are there, the more value we're going to create together, because the more people are there, the more powerful the event is, which means the more you will get from the event as well. And it can be any industry. If you do enough due diligence on me, you'll see that I've done this event for pretty much every industry out there. So I look forward to being there. I can't wait to be there. Thank you, Morgan, for all you're doing. And if there's anything anybody else has that ask or questions or want to know, we have a promo video on keithcochner.com for the 2-day event, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing would be just don't wait. Get your tickets, get them to your teams. I know you might have to do some personal inviting. Sometimes just posting on social media doesn't do the trick. Sometimes it's letting them know, inviting them, following up with them, making sure they got the tickets and all that kind of stuff, especially at the early bird. If you're really doubling down, especially at the early bird at the 3-pack or the 5-pack, then you can get your teams to come and you guys will get the most affordable option available. And I can't wait to be there and serve you guys.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for those of you that watched live. Keith, always a pleasure. I will
Absolutely.
be you and your assistant to get everything nailed down. And you guys, let's sell as many of these tickets, early bird pricing, that we can. He is extended to September 15th for us. So I would love to see just as many men in that room as women, and multiple businesses and just tons of people. So together we are changing lives. And what do they say? A rising tide lifts all, right?
That's right.
Right. So all of us. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Keith. And if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate. You can reach out to myself, and I will kind of be the mediator between this event and Keith, because I don't want a bunch of people blowing him up or his assistant. I can definitely help facilitate that. So if you guys need anything,
Awesome.
let us know. And thank you so much again.
You're welcome, you guys. God bless. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.